The next panel we have available here is the layout panel. The first adjustment we can make here is to change the unit of measurement for our rulers that can be seen at the top and left side of the print module. So for example, if you wanted to change it from inches to centimeters, you'll see that the unit of measurement changes, millimeters, and so on. Inches is typically standard, so I'll leave it at that. We can also adjust the print margins on all sides of the document using the left, right, top, and bottom sliders here. So for example, if you want to shift the left margin over or expand the right margin, you can do it using these. To create additional rows, move the rows slider to the right. Okay, so you can see 2 additional frames pop up. This comes in handy if you want to print multiple copies on the same page. Once your rows are created, you can click the repeat 1 photo per page option here. And you'll see that each one of the rows fill in with your image. So that's what that checkbox is for. The same can be done by adding new columns. So if you shift the columns over to the right, you'll see that the image repeats in all the different columns we have here. The reason the image automatically rotated is because we have rotate to fit checked off. If you don't have it, you'll notice that the image gets cut off because the frame is clearly too small. So if you rotate to fit, there's a bit more space for Lightroom to work with in each of these individual columns, and so the whole image neatly fits within the frame. Next here we have the cell spacing. These sliders allow us to adjust the vertical spacing between each cell in our rows and our columns. So you can see it adds a bit of spacing in between each one of the images on your page. Cell size is the actual height and width of each individual image frame. So if you want to shrink the width, go left. If you want to increase it, go right. And the same with height. You can click the keep square option if you want each one of your images to be a perfect square. And then you can readjust the cell size and cell spacing as needed. The guides panel has several options relevant to the guides that appear in your document, and you can see the guides here. They're quite faint, but there's quite a few of them. We have the option to show or hide the guides by placing a check mark or removing the check mark and placing it again. So that controls all the guides. Now, if you want to work with individual components like rulers, page bleed, margins, image cells, dimensions, you can show and hide them by adding and remove the check marks in these checkboxes. Okay, so rulers, page bleed, that's the edges right around the document. And then you have margins and gutters, image cell. Those are the guides around each individual image cell that we have here. And dimensions, right over here you can see we have the dimensions of each image. They're all identical, but if you want to hide them, you can.